What is up, my veggies? My name is VTR, and welcome back to another movie review. And jumping on the train, trying to get through some reviews of movies that I missed over the past few years, and or just missed or just haven't reviewed. So right now we're gonna review Raya and the Last Dragon, or Raya, or I think it's pronounced Raya. I think that's how you pronounce it, but I even though I just watched the movie yesterday. Before we get into the review, I do want to let's get into the synopsis. This is a long one, so let's go ahead and get into it. Long ago, in a fantasy world of Kamandra, I hope I said that right, humans and dragons live together in harmony, but when the sinister monster known as the Drun threatened the land, the dragons sacrificed themselves to save humanity. Now, 500 years later, the same monsters have returned, and it's up to a lone warrior, Raya, however you say it, to track down the last dragon in order to finally stop the drone for good. However, along the journey, she'll learn that it'll take more than dragon magic to save the world. It's going to take trust as well. All right, that's all I'm gonna say without giving away any spoilers. If you haven't seen the movie yet, so let's go ahead and talk about my thoughts. So going into this, I didn't have like the highest expectations. Also, since my buddy Sam told me he's seen it before, and he thought it was just okay. Um, Me personally, going into it, I had low expectations just because I don't know. I think the movie didn't really do that well at the box office. I don't remember if it did or not. Don't quote me on that. But um, first off, let's talk about what I did like. Obviously, the first thing I did like about this movie is obviously the animation. Obviously, it's kind of redundant at this point to keep praising movies for animation nowadays because a lot of them just have fantastic animation. And especially at Disney, you kind of expect really good animation. Um, um, I think first off, the characters in this, at least for the most part, are pretty fun. Raya, or however you say her name, she is a good protagonist. I do feel like the best parts of the movie though for this movie are the opening, um, and then the ending are probably the best. Like the rest of the movie, don't get me wrong, the rest of the movie is still good. It's just I think the movie, those are the high points. Are those is the opening and closing of the film? I think are the high points. Other characters I want to talk about. Raya is like a really like strong character. Um, she definitely goes through a character arc throughout the movie, which I don't want to give away too much, but like obviously you sympathize with her, but also like is her mindset in the right spot right now? Is she like what's going on here? Is she, like I don't know. Next character I'm talking about is obviously the dragon. I do not remember her name. Uh, Susu. I think that's how you say that. Uh, Voiced by Aquafina, which some people don't like Aquafina. I think she's all right. I think she plays her roles that she's. I think she fit this role really well. Like I was actually really scared that this was gonna. I felt like that Susu was gonna feel like a genie from Aladdin, like knockoff type character, and at points she kind of at first kind of like okay, she kind of seems like she's leaning towards that point, but she doesn't fully fall into that category. Um, but overall, I think the character is especially in the emotional moments with her. I think they're done really well. I think her design. I know I'm pretty sure the dragon's design. This is I kind of like they're going for the more traditional like Chinese dragon, like the ones that don't have wings and stuff like that. At points though, when I look at Susu in this, I'm like, especially with like the horn or whatever on her head. I'm like, you kind of look like a unicorn or something more than a dragon. But also, like I said, the character is great. All the other side characters are fine. Um, we kind of do have some. All the side characters are all right here. I don't hate the side characters. I do enjoy the side characters in this movie. I think they're done to a good degree. I think some of them are they're not given that much room to build. But I don't obviously the side characters and like they're not. There's nothing really wrong about them. There is this baby and these three little animals that are with the baby. We could have done without the little animals. The baby it's got some funny scenes. I think. We also have this big tough guy who's part of one of the other tribes. He's all right. He's got a funny line here and there. And then we have this little boy who is a who has also lost his family and everything. And it's interesting. Him. I think he might be the weakest though of the characters though. Even though we spend more time with him. The villain, it's kind of interesting to see the villain because um it's kind of hard to pinpoint who the villain is, like because the villains in this, like you have the monster, like the Durin or whatever you call them. You got those, and then you've got these other this other tribe or whatever called Fang, and they're kind of our villain with the lead of like the queen's daughter that is kind of leading this. Or she so that's kind of the villain stuff isn't the movie's strong suit. It's an all right, but the action choreography in this movie with the sword fighting and physical, like for pizza, you don't see a lot of movies or like animated movies like this where you see like full on like really good physical fighting. There's definitely something like that at the beginning of the movie, and some later on that like it just looks really good, and it was it just looks super nice, and the fighting and everything just looks really good. I really think there's one character I left out is there's this little like animal sidekick that she has um it's all right. There's nothing really not annoying about him or anything. Critics give this movie a 93% on Rotten Tomatoes, and audiences give it a 97. Me personally, as I was watching, I was like, the first bit, I was like, yeah, and then I started to feel like, okay, this is starting to get a little, and then it starts picking back up in the middle, then dip a little bit, and then we get to the end, and I'm like, okay, that's what I wanted. That's the kind of story I wanted from this, and personally, I think this is a fun time. I think this is a movie with beautiful animation, such fun acting. I think there's a lot of fun to be had with Raya and the Last Dragon. I think the movie is a lot of fun. I wish it would have done a little better than it did in the box office, but I don't think it's one of Disney's bet like, oh, this is the next Frozen or anything like that. But I do think personally, I don't know if I even reviewed it yet, but Encanto I think is better than this. But I do like this action movie and everything. It's a nice action globe-trotting adventure. Um, so I feel like I can give it a 3.5 as well. I think that's a solid point for it. If I don't really have much negatives to say about it. Besides, there are obviously some jokes that don't work that are just obviously there to make the little kids laugh. But like besides that, there's it's fun. I like it. I think it's a good movie. I think if But yeah, that's really all I've got to say for this review, guys. What did you guys think of Raya and the Last Dragon? Let me know down in the comments section below. And I do have more reviews coming. Hopefully, I'm trying to just do 2 videos a day though. So I hope you guys enjoyed this review. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.